It was sorry if you've gone over this. I just joined, but does this work for photorealistic humans or more so just animation? Can this be used for character creation for storyboarding? And I can just say that I actually have done myself, and I have a preferred preference for me to inject myself into other things. But Victor will tell you how to do it, I'm sure.
Yeah, and Kinky's pretty experienced with doing like the her like her own image, and since it's your own face, right? You know you can recognize yourself in a crowd a little more easily. Some people I feel like they think a little too good of themselves when I see them doing that. But it is certainly true though that you can do live action, and let me show you an example that we'll pause this for a second just to show you this. If you go to victorgnarly.com, I actually have a demo of this. Uh, as soon as I can open this without it just chaos. If you go to my comics on the top left, you're going to see that there is a live action demo called Chrome Lords. And Chrome Lords is probably my biggest failure in terms of the projects that I've put together. And I say failure as in I did everything that I thought would work really well. Sorry for the cursing that's in it. There's some foul language, but the reason why it failed is because outside of the context of pre-visualization, storyboarding, and all that, trying to send this off to the public as a comic that is like a standalone thing, like for people to actually enjoy reading and whatnot. This was a massive failure for me. I think I got 15 upvotes total, and it's because the protests just started. The SAG protests started right when I finished this. So it's been like 170, 80 days or whatever since then. But um, this is AI actors in action. I fully animated all this stuff inside of After Effects by re-rolling my results. So the joke here was that eventually, and I never got to it because I stopped the series after the first issue. Was that Chet McDowell, the character here, Chet McDowell was going to eventually be turned into a robot and become Chet GPT. So it's a 1980s schlocky film trailer, like literally a trailer for a 1980s trash television or trash movie. And I wanted it to look like that. I wanted it to look like something that you would find at a VHS store in the late 80s. And yeah, so I was aiming for that. I was doing a bunch of like kind of like meta humor jokes about everything happening with AI too inside of here. But the reality is that people really didn't like seeing Chet. They really didn't like seeing this guy's face. They were very uncomfortable with the fact that he doesn't exist. They were also very uncomfortable with what if he does exist and what if he is a real person and we're just kind of parading with his face. That's not true. We're not this guy doesn't exist. But he is continuous, as in like I know that if you look at this chat and this chat, it looks good. It looks good. It looks like him, right? And it's these are different prompts, different images that are coming back because Chet is a saved character that I can pull on. Um, the main thing to kind of get out of this though is it's a lot of Photoshop work. One of the reasons this is a massive failure for me is because I put so much time into it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't gauge my audience correctly with this one. The concept art was all by a Midjourney user, someone I do not know. I just really liked his series of images on the Midjourney subreddit, and I started working with him. And the thing is that he got he got really distant with me very quickly because I think he thought I was like trying to turn his little basically excuse the language, but his little shit post into like a full on production. And I was like, no, I mean, I'm trying to do something new here, and yeah, this was just a very jarring project for a lot of people. And I don't regret doing it because I'm demoing it for you right now, so you could see what it looks like. But live action stuff is really best used for previs and storyboarding and all the stuff you were mentioning. and not for finished comics like I was doing, because it really makes people uncomfortable to see quote unquote real people who aren't real. Um, and I also have an anime demo, which is my most probably the thing that got me doing what I'm doing now is the Micah entering the church, entering Saint Michael's, which I never really connected those two, but Saint Michael and Michael are meant to be the two here. Micah and Saint Michael. She goes in the church, and there's some antics that happen in there. But that was my anime demo of the exact same workflow that you guys can read here by going to Movie Machine and then click the free Midjourney tutorial here. Um, that 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 one running animation that is at the end um, of that anime demo. Um, I'm just gonna put it like this. I showed this to some industry people, and they one stopped talking to me very quickly. They were like really afraid of this one GIF, this one little animated sequence, because I was the guy who was the cleanup guy. I was the guy who nobody really even paid much attention to. I was just I was just the fixer for a lot of entertainment. Mostly Adult Swim stuff. And the thing is I shouldn't be able to do this at the time. And right now I shouldn't, even now I think people would still be jarred by seeing a fully animated anime sequence coming out of Midjourney. And it's just the fact that I have all the traditional skill sets necessary to combine all these elements and make them move the way that they're moving. But Midjourney's the one that's spitting out the art. They're the ones that are spitting out the posing and all that stuff. I did so much manual cleanup on this. But the live action stuff is a lot more trickery. It's a lot more with the instead of timing and keyframing like it is in this animation. The Chrome Lords is far more me going like, okay, what can I get away with that doesn't look insanely bad? So there's always that caveat there. But I did have one guy from, and I'm not going to say the studio, but not Adult Swim. I'll just say that it's not Adult Swim. I had a studio exec talk, or a junior exec reach out to me, and he was like, "Okay, so is this going to actually destroy the animation industry?" And I was like, "No, I really don't think it will. I think that what's going to happen is animators are going to start to use this stuff for quality of life purposes only, because it's so gross for them to use it for any other reason. Um, and I say gross as in specifically they do things in a certain way, and if they're forced to do things another way, it feels wrong. I know some really fun animators who have to make pharmaceutical ads to pay the bills, and it's misery to animate stuff that doesn't belong to you, that isn't yours, you know. And so I am certainly like leaning into a bit of the with at least with the anime character here, I didn't draw a single thing in this entire animated sequence. I used a couple of vector shapes to kind of fill in some gaps, and I did plenty of color correction. But the most upsetting thing to every one of the people that I talked to was that I said that I used an Amazon Basics keyboard and mouse only to animate this entire sequence.
And
So
they get so mad.
they do. I mean, like, but it's rightfully so. You shouldn't be able to do that with just a mouse and keyboard. You know what I mean? Like, it now we can, but at the time, I'm talking, February or January of this year. It feels like it's so long ago now, but it literally is. One of the most jarring aspects of this is the fact that I didn't draw a single thing in this in the running tutorial. Now that is very different compared to my comics. My comics, I'm drawing it with intention because I want to put my human authorship in it, like to shine that, so like you can tell it's my characters. Micah is very generically an anime girl, like just an anime high schooler, maybe even like you know uh preteen sort of age. I don't want to go that generic normally. So, all right, sorry, that was a bit of a trail off there.